A Republican member of the United States House of Representatives has been missing for 6 months, and a reporter for the Dallas Express was finally able to track her down and found her living in a nursing home that specializes in the treatment for people with memory impairment. In other words, she was found in an assisted living facility specializing in people with dementia. The Congresswoman, Kay Granger, from the state of Texas, was last seen in Congress. What was the date on that? It was in June of this year, where she cast her vote to actually reduce the salary of the Deputy Assistant Administrator for Pesticide Programs to $1. It was July, not June. So her last vote, her last act as an official member of Congress, I guess, was to reduce the salary of somebody that Republicans hated down to $1. And then after that, she disappeared. Nobody knew where she was. Her term wasn't over. Now, she had already announced that she would be, retiring at the end of the year, and another Republican was elected to take her place, but that won't happen till January. But she just disappeared. Nobody knew where she was. You called her offices, went straight to voicemail. Staffers were mum, her family was mum. 6 months, nobody could locate this woman, and people started to get a little worried. But this reporter, and you got to give full credit, Carlos Tercios, founder, here is what he wrote. We received a tip from a Granger constituent who shared that the Congresswoman has been residing at a local memory care and assisted living home for some time after having been found wandering lost and confused in her former cultural district, West 7th neighborhood. The Dallas Express team visited the facility to confirm whether Granger was residing there and to inquire about how she planned to vote on the spending bill. Upon arrival, 2 employees confirmed that Granger is indeed living at the facility. However, we were not permitted to conduct an interview regarding the current spending debate in the House of Representatives and how or if Miss Granger planned to vote. A worker who was assistant executive director for the senior living facility acknowledged to the Dallas Express that yes, this is her home. So the 81-year-old Kay Granger, who has been serving in Congress since the year 1997, let's do the math, 27 years this person has been reelected to that stupid seat, has been living for months in a care facility. And nobody knew about it. Nobody was told about it. She didn't resign her seat as she should have. And the worst part is that clearly her family and her staff covered this up. Now, I'm old enough to remember just a few months ago when Republicans were telling us we need a full-blown investigation into the staffers of President Biden because allegedly they had been covering up his mental problems and his mental decline, right? That's what Republicans told us. We needed that investigation to find out what the staffers knew and how long they knew it and how they covered it up. Okay, well, there wasn't really a cover-up. He's still obviously able to do the job. Kay Granger, on the other hand, is not. And there is no way in hell her staffers didn't know where she was. You think those people just showed up for work for 6 months and like, hey, the boss still isn't in today. Should we call? Should we figure this out? Bull. That needs to be, it doesn't need to be, that has to be investigated. Each and every one of these staffers needs to be put under oath to find out what they knew, when they knew it, and why they decided to cover it up. And I can go ahead and tell you the why. Assuming these people covered it up, the why is because if they told people, Granger would be forced to resign or she would be voted out, and then they would lose their jobs. That's it. They wanted to keep getting a paycheck, even though clearly they can't work if their congressperson's not there. But, they're getting those staffer paychecks, so that's nice. No. Hell no. This is a big deal. There needs to be investigations. There needs to be lawsuits against these individuals. The constituents in her district have a very strong lawsuit if they want to file it against the cover-up here. But that's what needs to happen. And secondary to that, of course, is that maybe let's stop electing octogenarians, people in their 80s, to Congress, right? Maybe we could do that too, and then we wouldn't have to deal with this as often, right, folks? But that's on the voters to do that. And they continue to apparently just make the wrong decisions. So it is what it is. And that's the story. With Trump's upcoming inauguration, the stakes couldn't be higher for the next 4 years. And let's not kid ourselves, things are already looking grim. One of the first things Trump's planning? An overhaul of AI policies that throw Biden's safeguards out the window, calling them, quote, radical leftist roadblocks to innovation. But let's be real, this is about stripping away protections and opening the floodgates for unchecked surveillance, manipulation, and corporate control. So of course, the right is going to frame this as freedom for technology, while the left waves red flags about fewer rules, more spyware, and zero regard for human rights. Factor in Elon Musk and Trump's corner, and you don't have to stretch your imagination to see how dangerous this gets. The line between truth, opinion, and propaganda will blur completely. And that's exactly why I've been partners with Ground News for a while now. They're an independent app and website, yet one of the few places left where clickbait and algorithms aren't manipulating what you see and hear. Instead, they help you cut through the spin by seeing all sides of how news stories are covered or ignored across the political spectrum. And with their new daily briefing, Ground News makes diving in deep easier than ever. It's quick, no-nonsense rundowns of the day's most important stories from every angle. This isn't just about staying informed. We're staying ready. Knowing what the other side is up to is how we spot the lies, challenge what doesn't add up, and fight for the future we deserve. That's why we're offering 50% off their top-tier Vantage plan for under $5 a month, the biggest discount of the year. Go to ground.news/ROF or scan the QR code right here to subscribe. You're doing more than supporting my channel. By subscribing, you're helping ensure that independent voices like ours don't disappear. Plus, it's their biggest sale of the year. Grab it for yourself, or better yet, gift it to that MAGA uncle at Christmas. He won't even realize you're doing him a favor by saving what's left of his critical thinking skills.